Okay, we are back at the podcast zone with Dr. John Hayes joining us once again. How are you, Doc?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Jack. It's always a pleasure to come and talk to you and talk to your audience out there, which is ever increasing.
Thank you. You had a couple of good sessions here at Franchise Expo.
Yeah, I teach the A to Z's of buying a franchise, which I have taught since 1988 at these expos. I also taught Are You a Perfect Fit for Franchising? I did that yesterday. And I always love teaching the A to Z's because these are people who don't know anything about franchising, and I wake them up to it. And in some cases, they say, now that I know what it's about, I don't want to do it. That's good for you. You should pay me for saving you the frustration of trying to become a franchisee.
Right. That's a true consulting fee that they owe you right there. But it's also, I think everybody's talking about responsible franchising.
Yeah.
If I hear that term one more time.
Yeah.
But, I think actually showing people the ups and downs, and this isn't for everybody, right? There
Absolutely.
are some people who this might not be a great fit
You should not be in franchising. If you don't want to follow a system, don't be a franchisee. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And people tell me all the time, they're going to control me. Yeah, they're going to control you to the point they're going to save your butt from failing, because that's generally what happens to people. But if you don't want to be in a controlled situation, you don't want to invest in a franchise.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, and what they're really controlling, they're not controlling people, they're controlling their brand.
Absolutely.
Which, by the way, they have a responsibility to control that brand.
You're not
as
the
well.
only franchisee.
Yeah. So, along the same lines of educating people on the merits of franchising and specifically in franchise development, coming up in January, you are once again hosting the Selling Franchises Summit. Tell us about that.
Sure.
Where's it at? It's happening, I want to say it's January 14th.
23 and 24, January 23, 24, in West Palm Beach on the campus of Palm Beach Atlantic University, home of the Titus Center for Franchising. We will once again sponsor a 2-day franchise development program all about selling franchises, Selling Franchises Summit. We'll have more than 40 professionals as keynoters and as panelists, roundtable leaders. It's 2 full days of everything you need to know about selling franchises. And we do not allow people to come and speak if they want to pitch themselves, and you got to hire them for $20,000 to teach you what we want them to teach you for the cost of attending the Selling Franchises Summit. And we have a great reputation in doing that. When you leave, you are going to go home with plenty of information to start implementing immediately. You don't need a consultant to help you. It's all about how to sell franchises or how to sell more franchises.
Yeah, one of the things I love about that is there are a lot of great events in this industry. IFA has great events.
Absolutely.
Franchise Update has terrific events and some things that are focused on franchise development. But there's not really anything else that really is this sort of boot camp mentality, really showing you some sales tactics for selling a franchise. I think, we get into a lot of things in the community and, brand building and community building and all of that kind of stuff is great, but this is very, very focused on sales.
Absolutely.
It's kind of unique.
Yeah, it's all about that, and I'm insistent that you can't sell from the stage. I'm insistent that you've got to tell them what they need to do to sell a franchise. So we got Ray Titus as a keynoter. There isn't anyone in franchising, and Ray is the son of the founder of Minuteman Press, and Ray's been with Sinorama for about 40 years, and he's been developing that. When United Franchise Group sponsors a Discovery Day, they're going to have about an 85 to 90% closing ratio. Few franchisors have that. And Ray is coming to this event, Selling Franchises Summit, specifically to tell you step by step how to build and execute your Discovery Day so that you sell a franchise. So he's one of our keynoters, along with John Hewitt. John Hewitt is the only man in franchising who sold not one, but 2 brands, each for $500 million. And according to him, he'll do it a 3rd time.
Nice.
All in the tax preparation business.
Yeah.
So John is going to come and tell you how he has personally sold 5,000 franchises.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody loves Mary Kennedy Thompson. She was with Dwyer for years, has a very powerful name in franchise development. She has moved on to the leader of BNI just this past summer, and she'll be on campus to talk about how do you develop leadership in franchise development. And then our 4th keynoter is Scott Abbott, who's been in franchising for years and years, and is going to tell you about building your team and how you execute that team to go sell the number of franchises that you desire. So we've got 4 tremendous keynoters, 2 each day, and then you're going to lead a panel, and you're going to have terrific panelists.
Yeah, I've got some great panelists lined up. We're going to be talking about storytelling in franchise development. So I'm excited about that. I'm very excited to see Scott Abbott and John Hewitt, who I've known for years.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, Mary Thompson leading this thing.
Yeah, she's a gem.
You know, she's not only the CEO of BNI, but she's also the incoming chair of the International Franchise Association.
Yeah.
So thrilled about her involvement with the Titus Center coming up. And once again, that's January 23rd and 24th.
Yep.
And if anyone would like to join us there, in today's show notes, we're going to have a link so you can click on it and register. We've got early bird pricing available until the 24th of November.
That's right.
Then the price goes up a little bit. So if you really want to join us, please get registered as soon as possible.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit more about what's going on at the Titus Center. I know you work with a lot of students there.
Sure do.
Tell me how's the next crop of franchise professionals? How do they look?
Well, we're all about training the next generation for franchising. Well, not many universities are doing that. We've been doing it. This is our 8th year. I now have about 70 students who are going to earn a concentration in franchising. They are going to know more about franchising when they graduate than the average first-year franchisee knows about franchising. Certainly more than the average employee of a franchisor who doesn't have any experience. My kids come out of college knowing about the FDD, knowing about franchisor-franchisee relationships. They've worked on case studies. They've heard from probably 40 to 50 franchisors who come into my classroom and talk to them. They are well grounded in franchising. I've graduated 61 to date. 10 of them are franchisees today. Another couple of dozen work in franchise companies. So this is the future generation. This Gen Z generation, they are hard workers. They are dedicated to doing things a little bit more lifestyle than work, but they're going to find that perfect match. They don't want just a 9 to 5. They don't want to work just because they need to pay the bills. They want to work because it's got redeeming value to it. It's doing something for the community, something beyond the paycheck. They are very dedicated to doing good as well as doing well. And you got to love these young people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I joke all the time that I've given up on the millennials. We're going right for the Gen Z.
Exactly. You've got one of my, at Brand J, you've got at least one of my graduates.
Yeah, I want to mention that Alyssa Alvarez, who's on my team, she's been on our team now going into her 2nd year. And, like you said, she knows more about franchising than people who've worked in franchising for a few years.
Exactly.
So I can't recommend enough to the franchise businesses out there, to the franchisors and the suppliers. If you're looking for new talent in early 2025, look no further than the students from Titus.
Absolutely. We are constantly promoting on behalf of our advisory board members. When they have an entry-level position, they contact me. I get it out there to my graduates and to the students who are going to graduate in December and in May, and those jobs get filled. And it's what a great job I have changing lives into franchising.
Yeah.
And so it's terrific. And my advisory board is now nearly 100 member companies, more than 136 individuals. We meet twice a year on the campus. It's the largest professional franchise networking group in the South. When we get together, it's just been dynamic.
Awesome. Well, Dr. John Hayes, thanks for joining us today.